My name is, my full name is Mehdi Polikan, and people normally here call me Mehdi. My kids normally call me Mr. Mehdi because it's hard for them to pronounce the H. That's why. You can call me that. Mehdi is fine. Um, my birthplace is Iran, but I started picking up English since I was 8. So then, thanks to my father, I decided to be an educator, a teacher. So, um, meaning that um, I really started teaching since I was really a high schooler. I was teaching the kids who were in middle school. And then I think it was after that that I decided that I want to get some formal education in teaching. Of course, my undergrad was in English language and literature, and there was almost a 10-year gap for me until I got a fully funded scholarship by the um, Arthur Sidney Hornby Trust, which was basically um, an institution that was funded by the Oxford University Press, and the scholarship was also funded by the British Council. So I went to the UK around 2016 and until 2017 when I finished my master's in English language teaching with a concentration on teacher education and development. So at that time, I think I went back to Iran, and then the pandemic hit, so it was hard, but I was very much aware of all the technological advances, and I could communicate with many people. That's why I was teaching online, giving mentorship to teachers, and preparing the students who were planning to go abroad. And finally, the year 2022, I could come to the US as a permanent resident, and now I'm here as a middle school teacher who is helping the multilingual learners or providing the ESOL, which stands for English to Speakers of Other Languages services in their classrooms in really different subject areas.
Wow, great journey. In fact, so inspirational journey.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, you are from Iran, so almost neighboring country of
Oh
India.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, your success story is definitely inspirational to many of my students. And by the way, the same year when you went to USA, I also went to USA as a part of Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program.
Oh, wonderful,
Yeah, 2022.
wonderful. Yeah, I
Yes.
know Fulbright.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
you're also a very inspirational teacher and person for your students and community as well. I'm sure you have done major achievements. So
Thank you so
kudos.
much.
Hello, sir. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you. This is Dikshit and Antreda from ZPH Sailavaram. It's me
Hmm.
glad to interact with you, sir. Can I ask a question?
Please go ahead. Yes, same here. I'm happy to interact with you.
Yes, sir. How do you incorporate cultural awareness into your ESOL lessons to make them more engaging and relevant for students?
That's a very good question and a hard one, because the cultural awareness comes from basically the fact that you need to incorporate all perspectives into the class, meaning that there should be a culture of the culture of um, let's say, first of all, students really need to understand that they need to respect the differences, and then they need to start with a background knowledge. So the background knowledge is the difficult part of the lesson. Let's say you're going to tell them or teach them about a fiction, and that fiction happened in a this specific setting, which means a time and a place of history. So you really need to build up that background knowledge, and probably the best ways that I can do in the classroom is through some guided questions and pictures where the kids will know something about that person, let's say the characters of that story. And or if it is a science concept or a math concept, then you have to probably provide some sort of a scaffolds for the learners who are coming from different languages and cultures in order for them to, you know, catch up with the learning target and goal of the lesson. So to be short, I think providing that anything that makes the content accessible and providing that background knowledge is very important through some common, let's say, means such as visuals, sometimes a short video, sometimes, a person who's coming from that specific community, if you're really bringing something from a different culture, inviting them into the classroom and bringing that person to talk, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your
You're
answer.
welcome. You're welcome.
One more student is
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I don't know
My
what
name
time it
is
is there, but I think it's night right now, right? There in your country.
right. It's almost 48 minutes past 7 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So for you, good evening. It's morning here. Yes.
my name
Sorry,
is
go ahead.
I am an
Hmm.
eighth grader from JPH School, Edavaram. I am so excited to interact with you. Here, I would like to ask a question. Can I ask, sir?
Please, nice to meet you very much. Yes.
Can you share some tips for improving English language skills outside of the classroom?
Of course. So, as I told you, I'm a non-native English language speaker too. But as I was sharing my story in a bit, I think one of the most important points is all about exposure. And exposure means you do not limit your interaction with English just to any specific means, or a specific, you know, we call them macro skills or the four, listening, reading, writing, and speaking. You don't just restrict it to that, meaning you have to really take any opportunity during any time of the day that you think you're ready, in order to interact with English. Let's say that I really start my day, these days, all of us are very much digital citizens, meaning we have these phones and many different apps on them, right? So the first thing in the morning you do is just to after you uh, turn off the alarm, you open your phone, right? So it's not a bad idea every morning for me, just for maybe 2 minutes, I just check the news headlines. That's reading. Then on my way, if I'm driving, well, I'm sure you guys, I don't know, well, you may take any public transport or drive or whatever. On the way to your destination, you can listen to podcasts. And that's what I do in English, regardless of any specific topic. Then it comes to a kind of interaction, which is writing and speaking. So in terms of speaking, well, you are really taking advantage of English as a second language in your country, which means that probably most of people who go to school are picking up English. So it's just a matter of a community you guys can speak together. It can be an event that you organize on a very specific topic, let's say, and you call that English cafe, which means that you go and sit down in and have a cup of coffee while you talk maybe for 30 minutes or 45 minutes on a specific topic. That being said, then you need to be able to express yourself through writing. Same. It's just like, well, all the emails communications that you have, or the messages that you send to people, or let's say you want to start writing academically. So you pick up a topic for academic English and then you write an essay on that. So all these are really, ways that you can interact with English outside of the classroom. And in that way, it can just gradually and for sure boost up your level of English. So, immersion, exposure.
Hello, sir. My name is
Hi,
Gayatri. My name is Gayatri Salvi. I am studying seventh grade. I am from ZPHS Ailavaram. Can I ask one question, sir?
of course, nice to meet you.
What are the effective strategies for teaching English to students with varying levels of proficiency?
Okay, thank you for asking that question. That question is also part of my job. So we're really trying to provide university design learning lessons, which means that there are multi ways, different ways that we have made the lesson accessible. Let's say you're talking about people with different learning styles, right? So a person learns better by audio, a person is able to learn things better by video or pictures, a person is really learning things better by doing things. So these all talk about different learning styles, right? Which are also already known as visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or hands-on, and also a mix of them. What we try to do when it comes to accessibility, or I try to do in terms of accessibility, is to provide any sort of um, technology that is assisting and that bit of accessibility to the lesson. For example, you're talking about long text, right? So the first thing we do is we chunk them down and then we enable the read aloud for the slides. That is good for the auditory learners. We are providing word banks with visuals, or like different sections of the passage are embedded with links to some pictures and definitions to the key vocabulary. That's good with the visuals. And for the people who are learning better by hands-on activities, there's something really like, let's say, some worksheets provided. Maybe when they sit down and when they want to do the outlining of their essay, for example, in the writing, they're doing a sorting deck, vocab, and definitions where they're doing something hands-on. So in a sense, it's really all about the ways that we embed accessibility features into every lesson for different learners with different backgrounds and different learning styles and different language levels. That being said, if a student's level of English is not as it should be aligned with the grade level, the ESOL teacher is doing a small group instructions, meaning there are more targeted, explicit instruction to those people so that they can catch up and they can develop gradually during the course of the year.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hello, sir. This is Husnia. I am an educator. Nice to meet you, sir. Can I ask you a question?
Nice to meet you too. Yes, please.
What are the common challenges that ESL students face, and how do you help them overcome these obstacles?
Well, thank you for that. Well, it's really different. That is, I think, a question that can be answered in different ways because the students that are challenged with receptive skills, which is reading and listening, or productive skills, which is writing and speaking. So my different students have really different needs, and their areas of improvement or the skills that they can improve are whether in one, not two, normally, in one of the receptive, listening and reading, or productive, which is the writing and speaking. And the way that I'm helping them is, as I was just answering the previous question, through some targeted instruction that is aligned with their need. Let's say I have a student who is not able to read very well. So that student um, needs to understand the very basics of reading, which is decoding the words, identifying phonemes, and being able to put them together to read the word and then the sentence. So I really help them with some strategies that I, put in my or embed in my lesson in the small groups, as I said. And when it comes to people who are not very fluent, maybe in writing, there are scaffolds. The scaffolds are like sentence frames or like a vocab bank. And sometimes with people who are still so much struggling, I say, maybe, um, because you're not able to, you know, let's say, think in the target language, which is English. Maybe for some bit of the writing, which is the outline, you can use translation. So these are all the ways that, you know, I'm kind of supporting them. So normally it's with the writing bit, with the reading bit, with the speaking bit. I have not really seen students here who are struggling with the listening bit so much because, this is like a native environment and they're picking up English almost every moment. Now, we don't know about their homes, but out of home, in the school, in society, everywhere they're listening to English, so their listening will improve very fast.
Okay, thank you so much. And Mehdi, may I request you to take us away from your room? We would like to see how the Western Virginian morning looks like. I mean,
Okay,
we
sure.
want to see
Sure.
outside weather.
Which is, and it's cold, so not every not everything is really like
Mm,
green. Well,
yeah.
parking garages, the cars,
Mm,
and yeah, so as we walk away, it's the, you know, pedestrian way, the pavement where
yeah.
you can really walk the way. Well, it's a good sunny day today. Yesterday it was really showering, meaning
Mm-hmm.
that there
Mm-hmm.
was so much rain, but
Mm.
it looks like a nice, sunny, cold day. It is still cold, so I want to
Yeah.
tell you about temperature conditions. Here right now it's 27 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh.
So I don't know how much to be zero,
Mm.
something near zero level, 0 degree
Mm.
Celsius. But yeah, so yes, welcome to the West. This is what
Yeah.
America looks like. Yeah, all
Yeah.
these townhouses and yeah, one thing that I've noticed in the US
Mm.
as compared to the UK is
Mm.
that the US is just so much bigger and
Yes.
everything is just bigger. For some reason, like this is America, like the malls are bigger, the
Mm.
shops are bigger,
Yes.
like all the places, everything is just so bigger. And
Mm.
it's a bigger country, it's so huge. Um, yeah, with the population of about maybe 400 million, it
Yeah.
is still some areas of the US are still uniquely untouched. You
Mm.
know, what I love about the country is the, variety um, that it offers, the diversity. There are really, really different people from different backgrounds,
Yes.
cultures, nationalities, and that is really respected here. And well, there could be one thing here, which is something like not everyone likes, and that's the gun.
Yeah.
It's like the gun use.
That's the
But that
only thing.
being said, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Just the only thing. Yeah. So you see almost everywhere they make sure that um the there is this balance I can see of nature and
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
humans
Yeah.
living with the
Yeah.
nature.
Thank you.
So you can see all those trees there and everything
Yes.
here.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Actually, it reminds me of my 45 days stay in USA way back 2022. Thank you so much for offering a virtual tour of Western Virginia. And before we wind up this session, may I request you to give a message to my students? These students who have interacted with you, actually, they are committed, dedicated students. You know that today is the second Saturday and evening is almost 8 o'clock, but they have still made to the this particular session because
I'm
you can
sure.
understand how much commitment they have.
I'm sure, and and I do appreciate them. So one thing that I can tell them is like, um, it's really your only limit in life is your mind, is. They said that there was a saying sometime I said I used to read inspirational quotes every day. I still do. And then one of them said, your only limit is time or the sky. No, sky is not the limit. Now, I think your mind and your thoughts are the only limit, meaning that you can really do anything you want. It's just a matter of the effort, the hard work, and time. And things take time. It doesn't matter. And different people will reach their goals in different time sets. That doesn't matter either. What matters is consistency, which is like you're doing one step every day. And you make sure that you do that one step every day to reach your goal. And for your goals, it's important to break them really into pieces, meaning you have to know that you have your short goals, mid goals, and long goals. And for that, you can absolutely, these days, really, I think the third millennium miracle I call is Google, which is the search engine that provides almost anything. And then AI these days, used responsibly, can give you really answer to any question that you have. So plan, be optimistic, plan, and work hard. And that's it.